Rimuru goes to Naruto Verse by Manga-Nirvana Chapter 12 Chunin Training Arc. Rimuru Pav. After the end of the second phase of the Chunin exam, Hokage-sama called our team in the Hokage office. Why, you all ask? Well, it was because certain someone decided to do some flex on a goddamn genin and scare the living shit out of them. Well, when we reached the homage office there was a loud noise coming from the other side of the door. Rimuru. Is that Danzo and other elders? This is going to be fun, seeing the faces of angry elders and laughing Jonin. Velgrand. So who is Danzo? Rimuru. Seal. A good-for-nothing village elder. Who thinks he should be Hokage? So you know the basic nature of these kind of people? Seal further sends the entire list of crimes that man has done in his entire life. Velgrand. Oh, I see. Kufufu, this is going to be interesting. Hey Rimuru, should we give this to Guy so he can have fun here too? Rimuru. Nice idea. Seal, tell this to Guy for me and ask him to do whatever he wants with all these people. Seal. Then send the entire list of corrupted people in strong places to Guy. Seal. Guy, here is an assignment for you from Rimuru, you will love to have it. Guy. Then processed the entire list for a few seconds and started laughing. Guy. Good, so Rimuru has finally sent me the info. Wait, I have a group of kids who want to kill kind of people. Don't tell Rimuru about this. Rimuru. I heard that, Guy. What are you planning again? Didn't I tell you not to plan anything without asking me? Guy. Hey, don't be a party pooper. Well, you know I have saved some kids from death. Rimuru. Yes, that one-eye girl named Cory and a bunch of 4 years old. What about them? Guy. Do you know they absolutely hate the current shinobi way, so I told them about my job as moderator and demon lords who rule with absolute power over. Rimuru. Peace. Where, when, what peace? How could you say that? You quite literally killed billions of people and ruled the world through fear. Guy. I am talking about the octagram. I am going to create one here. Rimuru. Oh, so you mean you want me to unite all villages and their head become the new octagram or something like that? Guy. Yes, but only the strongest of all villages will be their head. Velzard. Why, I have a feeling that Guy and Rimuru are cooking some nasty plan. Velgrand. Seal. They're making a nasty plan. Rimuru and Guy discussed for a few minutes and decided that Guy and his organization would kill all corrupt village leaders and cause chaos in the shinobi world, and that Rimuru would defeat him and unite all of this shinobi world. They even planned to use cryptic on this world to ease up their job. Meanwhile, Velzard, Velgrand and Seal entered the Hokage office. Hiruzune's thoughts. There you are three. What was that? Yesterday day I went to such lengths to prevent you from showing off your powers and you three started causing mayhem in the village? Oh, even your cute innocent smile will not save you, Rimuru. Hiruzen. Come in, Team Rimuru. So tell me, how was your day? Hiruzen asked with a smile that showed just how frustrated and angry he was, and three elders were also looking at the new genins. From their looks alone it was clear that they wanted the three for their profit. Rimuru with an illegal smile on his face and making a Milam puppy eyes and looking at the Hokage. Rimuru. Apologize, Hokage-sama. Well, we had to check on Lee and others' genin conditions and others' genin, so we were a little late. Velzard. So Hokage-sama, why have you called us here? While looking at the three elders, who are with Enbu members protecting them. Danzo. So you are the new two genins that I heard about, and you must be Rimuru Uzumaki. We have a lot about you and your ability to heal something that should be impossible to do. Rimuru. Good morning, elders. What are doing here, Lord Danzo? I thought you hated sunlight. And look like Lord Hokage is fine too, so we don't need you to be here. The entire room burst into laughter as Danzo never left his shady underground base. Like a goddamn vampire. Danzo, who didn't want to fight this angelic ninja who had no bound to his power and knowledge, decided to leave with other elders. More like save his ass. Hiruzen. Thank God they left. And you three, I thought you Rimuru don't want to additional attention during the Chunin exam. So what was that saying? You can heal Lee back to health to the point he can fight again. Rimuru. Oh, I see now why he is here. He wants to have my power, or rather me. Like he can control me, Chaos Lord. Sorry, I didn't think it would cause so many problems, and didn't you want us to show our powers? Hiruzen. Oh yes, I did do that for the Chunin exam, not for some doom fight with some kids but with real powerhouse like 3 genin from the Sand Village and you. What was that jutsu you used to freeze the entire tower? Velzard. Tower, I just try to freeze up the arena. Hiruzen. How do you think I am joking? Of course, it starts with the arena. I was there, but it slowly freezes the entire arena. I don't know what jutsu you did, but the ice is so cold it takes a lot of amount of time to melt it. And it also requires strong fire style users to do it. Velgrand. Oh, don't worry Lord Hiruzen, we will melt the ice off the entire tower. Velzard. I am truly sorry, but I didn't know my simple failed ice jutsu would cause this much problem. Hiruzen. Fine, you two go and unfreeze the entire tower. And you Rimuru go and find Jiraiya boy. He has something for you. Rimuru. Well, seems like Velzard and Velgrand are still causing problems for Konoha. Well, a volcano was too much. Not that it matters to me or anything, but I am interested in seeing what others are doing. Hiruzen. Now leave before I start losing more hair hearing the thing you did. Seal. Looks like this old man wants to die in peace. Velzard and Velgrand. Hey Rimuru, let's go and see what kind of effect has caused this problem. Rimuru and the gang then leave to see what exactly had happened to the tower. After deep analysis, gang realizes that Velzard created some sort of tail beast because of her will and nature chakra in the atmosphere. And its core is going to form here in this tower. Author. Velzard is an ultimate being and her will and nature chakra cause a phenomenon close to the birth of a pseudo-tail beast. They will have their personality and soul. So have fun. Rimuru then remembers that Velzard also used her power and will, while creating the volcano. So now Seal immediately used her master's power, created a new tower and replaced it with this one. Rimuru. Now what, while looking at her two elder sisters. Velzard. Now we remove the volcano and replace it with some dormant one somewhere in this world. And we might also need to observe the development of this thing. Seal. How about we put it in the land of snow and observe what will happen? The twins immediately bail out and dump all work to Rimuru to observe the effects of this and find some way to control their power even further. Third person Pav. Naruto wants to visit Sasuke's room in the hospital, but the nurses tell him that he's not accepting visitors. On his way back, he sees Kakashi and asks him to train for the Chunin exam. Kakashi tells Naruto that someone better than him will train to Naruto. Ebisu arrives and announces himself as Naruto's new trainer. Naruto complains about why a man weaker than himself has to train him. Naruto almost tells Kakashi of when he defeated Ebisu using his harem technique, but Ebisu covers his mouth, persuading him not to tell anybody, bribing him with free ramen. Kakashi then scolded Naruto for being unable to properly mold chakra, and Ebisu might be the best person to train him in chakra control. After Kakashi leaves, Ebisu challenges Naruto to run away from him and promises his resignation as Naruto's tutor if he escapes, adding that he would be able to take over some of Kakashi's duties, thus leaving Kakashi time to train Naruto himself. Naruto hastily agrees and proceeds to attempt to hide, to no avail as he is easily found by Ebisu. Naruto resorts to using his transformation technique to imitate a girl on a billboard sign, but is again discovered by Ebisu. As a last resort, he creates many shadow clones and they all run away in different directions. Ebisu, however, performs his shadow clone technique and easily dispatches the clones and finds the real Naruto. Meanwhile, Rimuru and the gang return from their finding and still think of the results of research done by Seal. They found Naruto with Ebisu going to a ramen shop. Rimuru ignores this and goes straight to find Jiraiya as Hokage-sama told them to. After that, they eat together at the ramen Ichiraku. He then explains his usage of chakra, and how Naruto uses much more chakra than necessary. Naruto counters that he's still able to pull off feats that Sasuke and Sakura can do, which Ebisu attests to the nine-tailed fox's chakra being accessible to Naruto. After eating, they head to the hot spring town. Ebisu tells Naruto that they will train here. He then explains about the water walking practice. Excited, Naruto attempts it but falls into the water. He tries repeatedly but to no avail as he continuously falls into the water. As Naruto quickly begins to grasp the basics of the technique, Ebisu realizes that he misunderstood him, and even thinks that he is an excellent Konoha ninja. Meanwhile, Rimuru finds Jiraiya and asks him why he is looking for him, and after hearing Jiraiya's finding decides to go look for himself. And leave Jiraiya, who is busy peeking on the young girls. Rimuru. Okay, we are going to Uzumaki Forest for training, okay. Velzard. Oh, are we finally going to train to be a ninja? Vel grinned. Let's create our fighting and jutsu with our specialty. Which seal was too happy to take part in? Well, creating new powers is also a job, so now she wants to be over with and do a good research on why Velzard powers behave like that. Back to Naruto. Ebisu then sees a white-haired man peeking into the women's change room and attacks him. But the white-haired man summons a frog and easily defeats him, with Naruto witnessing the attack. Naruto attempts to wake Ebisu to no avail and demands to know the identity of his attacker. The man introduces himself as the Toad Sage of Mount Myoboku and the author of the Icha Icha novels. Recognizing the books as Kakashi's favorite novels, Naruto declares the man to be a perverted hermit instead and demands that he take Ebisu's place as his teacher. Though the man refuses and leaves, Naruto is impressed by his skill and pursues him. Naruto catches up with the sage as he is being rejected by a woman, but he traps the boy in a jar and escapes once more. Naruto finds the sage again as he is daydreaming outside of town, and after his transformation technique fails to fool Naruto, he tells the boy that he will train him in exchange for bringing him curvy fruit. Having misunderstood the innuendo, Naruto later approaches the sage with a watermelon as he is attempting to impress two women. The man explains that he desires an attractive woman and Naruto responds by using his sexy technique. Thoroughly impressed, he says he will train Naruto provided he remains in that form, but then admits he was kidding when the boy protests. Under the sage's supervision, Naruto resumes his training but fails to stand on the hot spring water and removes his wet clothing in frustration. Recognizing Naruto's seal as the work of the fourth Hokage, the Toad Sage secretly removes the five-element seal, preventing Naruto from efficiently controlling his chakra. With this impediment removed, Naruto happily walks across the water without trouble. The sage decides that it is time to teach Naruto to control the Nine Tails chakra, but insists they stop training for the day and head to the hot springs for a bath. Later that night, as Naruto sleeps, Ebisu approaches the Toad Sage and identifies him as Jiraiya of the Sannin, one of the few who can stop Orochimaru. He then leaves Naruto in Jiraiya's care, while Jiraiya finally tells Naruto that he will be teaching him the summoning technique. Meanwhile, at the Kikyo Castle, Baki and Kabuto discussed their plans to attack Konoha. Hayate heard the conversation. After he hears the plans, he attempts to leave to notify the third Hokage, but he is killed by Baki. Hayate's body was later found by a group of Anbu. Meanwhile, Sakura sits in her bedroom, still worried about Sasuke. Meanwhile, the third Hokage has a meeting with the Jonin regarding Hayate Gecko's body found near Kikyo Castle. They discuss Orochimaru's involvement, although the Hokage concludes that they do not have any information regarding the latter. He also expresses his trust to the shinobi that if Otogakure, Land of Sound, and Sanagakure, Land of Sand, invade Konohagakure, hidden in the leaves, they will assemble and fight. Sakura goes to Yamanaka Flowers to buy flowers for Sasuke, where Ino is in charge of running the shop. After deducing that Sakura is there to buy flowers for Sasuke, Ino decides to visit him as well. Ino picks a rose and Sakura picks two daffodils, one for Sasuke and the other for Rock Lee. On their way, they hear Choji eating loudly. Peeking through an open window, they spot Asuma Sarutobi and Shikamaru, who are seated with Choji. In exchange for training with Shikamaru every day, Asuma has been treating Choji to barbecue. In the woods, Neji was training with Tenten. During his training, Neji collapses after having used too much chakra. But he still pushes on and tries to imitate the main branch technique. Team Kurenai trains in the woods too, to prepare for Shino's match. Elsewhere, the three Sand siblings and Baki secretly discuss their invasion plans. Though their biggest concern is the Team Rimuru as they know nothing about them. Gaara even told Baki about the picnic that Rimuru is having during the Forest of Death. So one thing is clear, they need Rimuru out of the village so they can easily crush Konoha. Finally, it was decided that Kankuro and Temari would fight Rimuru. Oh, he forgot Velzard froze an entire arena without even trying and even told her competitor what she was planning to do. At the hospital, the nurse permits Ino and Sakura only 5 minutes of visitation due to Sasuke's condition. However, Sasuke and his clothes are missing. Kakashi is undergoing the cliff climbing practice, and after nearly falling to his death, activates the first gate. Kakashi uses his increased strength to make it to the top of the rock, only to see Sasuke waiting there for him. Back at the hospital, Lee is also missing from his bed. Sakura spots Lee outside, performing his push-ups. Sakura recalls Ino telling her that Lee's injuries were severe to the point that he would never be a shinobi again. It looks like she does not believe in Rimuru's angelic powers. After completing 199 out of 200 push-ups, Lee collapses. Lee later wakes up in his hospital bed and notices a daffodil, realizing someone had visited him earlier. Elsewhere, the third Hokage speaks with Anko, telling her that no one in Konohagakure can stand against Orochimaru. Anko mentions the fourth Hokage, but the third replies that he is dead and they must do it with their strength. He even thought that Rimuru in the future would easily surpass all Hokage combined, though he is far too young to fight Orochimaru on his own. Meanwhile, Naruto continues to practice his summoning technique while Jiraiya peeks at the bikini-clad women. After a few failures, Jiraiya renders Naruto unconscious and throws him off a high cliff as he awakens, attempting to force the boy to draw on the Nine Tails' power. Beneath the Hokage rock, Iruka teaches his class about the history of the Hokage. The third watches the class and Iruka invites him in, telling the children that the third is said to be the strongest Hokage and a genius renowned as the professor. The third tells the students to protect their loved ones, and when they ask him who his own loved ones are, he replies to his grandson, Konohamaru, and all the people of the village. Meanwhile, Naruto enters his subconscious and speaks with the Nine Tails for the first time. The fox lends Naruto some of his chakras to prevent them both from dying, and with it, Naruto successfully summons Gamabunta. Angry that a child summoned him, he starts asking where Jiraiya is. Meanwhile, in Konoha, Temari recalls the time a year ago in Sanagakure, village hidden by sand, when she argued with Baki over breaking the treaty alliance between Konoha and Sanagakure, village hidden by sand. She currently has a crush on Rimuru. Later in Suna, Baki reports to the fourth Kazekage that everything is going according to plan. After returning, Baki knocks aggressively on the door of Kankuro and Temari's room, lecturing them about not watching over their brother Gaara. They go to Gaara's room and are surprised to find him missing. Naruto wakes up after his training with Jiraiya and learns that he has been asleep for 3 days, and the Chunin exam's finals are the next day. Shikamaru gives Naruto a fruit basket originally intended for Choji, who has been hospitalized for indigestion, having eaten too much. Sakura goes to Lee's room and replaces the flour. As Choji complains of his hunger, Ino walks in with a fruit basket for him. Gaara enters Lee's room and attempts to kill him while he is unconscious, but Naruto and Shikamaru immediately stop him. Incapacitated by Shikamaru's shadow imitation technique, Gaara divulges a little bit about his past, revealing he has a sand demon named Shukaku sealed within him from birth, and was created solely as a weapon for his village. Though he became too unpredictable, and his father sent assassins after him regularly, to put an end to the threat, he failed at the very purpose he was given life, and can now only hurt others. Naruto sympathizes, as he also has a demon within him. He attempts to kill the two of them, but Guy steps in and demands Gaara to leave at once. Gaara has no choice but to do so, but before doing it, he promises that he'll kill them all.